Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. Happy payday. Happy September 7th. God, this year, what has happened? I feel like we blinked and it's September. Um, First of all, I want to thank all you guys for hopping on. If you guys are new, welcome. We're so excited to have you. We do this Zoom every single Tuesday at noon Eastern, um, for like 4 years now. So it's crazy to think we've been doing this for 4 years and we've heard from so many different amazing leaders in the company. And for 4 years, pretty much Danny's been recording these Zooms. And when we were at a conference, I swear to God, more people came up to you than me. They were like, "Oh my God, Danny, we're so excited to meet you. Thank you for recording the Zoom." So, y'all, I thought who better to interview today than Danny because, y'all, she does more than just record Zooms. First of all, this chick is incredible. I always joke around that she has like three of her somewhere because she'll be on like three Zooms at once. And I'm like, how do you do this? Um, this is a chick that always shows up. Um, I mean, seriously, think I've, I don't know if you've missed a Zoom, and if you can't get on, Mark's on. It's crazy. The benefit of having a double. Um, you recently got married, which is super, super exciting, which everybody already thought you were anyways. Um, and I am so excited for people to hear your story today because I mean, seriously, when I talk about show up, you show up. And really, that's what this business is about, is making sure that no matter what's going on, you don't check out. And I mean, it's been an up and down road, and I think your story is going to resonate with a lot of people. So I can't wait for everybody to hear it. Can you start? I mean, dude, you don't even need me to interview you. You've been on these for 4 years, so you know exactly what I'm going to ask. But for those that are new, I'll ask the normal questions. Tell us where kind of you started with this industry. What were you doing before you got into network marketing, and how you found it, and how you found Lavelle, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for that introduction. That was really nice of you.
Pretty.
What's that?
You look pretty too.
Oh, thank you. I actually did something with myself today. I knew I had to be on camera, so I actually have a list of all the questions you asked, just in case I have to kind of step in on some days that I have, so I know exactly what you're asking. Yeah, so I'm going to take it back. I'm going to take it way back, like decades, just to kind of give you like where I was and where I am now and why I am with network marketing. I am a product of two retail store manager parents who begged me to never get into retail. And guess what I did? I got into retail. I saw quick money. Retail, you can make some pretty good money with a lot of hard work and lots of long hours. So 20s, I was making $60,000, $70,000 in my 20s. And the turning point was I was a store manager with Bath and Body Works at the time. And this was before kids. And someone came up to me and said, "Wow, you're so young and so successful. You should be so proud of yourself." And I had to take a step back and think, because yes, I had a lot of success, but I didn't feel successful, because success to me was having a family, having children. Like I said, my parents were both in retail, especially my mother. She was a retail store manager for a huge department store. And so she was never around. She grew up very, very poor. And so her thing was making sure she made enough money to give us everything we wanted. And with that, she couldn't give me everything I needed. And what that was time. I wanted her time. And looking back, I'm like, that's just one thing that I need to give my children when I have them. So success to me was having a family and being there and never missing a moment. So I actually worked up until the day before I gave birth to my oldest daughter. And I knew once I was on maternity leave, I wasn't going back. I knew that this was everything I ever wanted, to be a mother, to be a wife. And so when my maternity leave was up, I stayed home and made huge sacrifices. We went down to one vehicle. We downsized from a house to a townhouse. And you know, we had to cut back big time, but I was so happy. And then my second daughter came 2 years later, and then everything kind of fell apart. When she was 2, my youngest was 2, I became a single mother. Unexpectedly became a single mother. And I knew that I couldn't get back into retail only because of the hours. Nights and weekends are not, you know, conducive for a single mom with 2 children, because yes, you can make good money. I had been out of the game for quite some time, but you can make good money, but you know, I'd be missing out on everything and going backwards and, you know, not giving my children the life I knew that they deserved. So I've always been into, you know, beauty and skincare and makeup. So I decided to go to school to be an esthetician, and loved it, loved everything about it. Luckily, I live, you know, in a town with lots of family who helped out with getting my oldest to school and things like that. And when I graduated, within a month, I was offered a job at a prestigious spa in my town in Rochester, New York. And I'm like, this is it. I've made it, right? I'm going to be able to, you know, work day shift hours. I'm going to be able to work while my kids are in school and never miss a moment with them, right? At nights and weekends. And then I realized, oh, well, spas are open nights and weekends. Like, damn it. And then when I started working, I had missed a couple things because I'd always been that mom. I had taken my kids to school, picked them up. I was that homeroom mom. I was on every field trip. I was there for everything. I got them up in the morning and put them to bed at night. They never had a babysitter. They never went to daycare. When I started working, is when things kind of all fell apart. My oldest daughter suffers from anxiety. Sorry, she gets that from me. And she started, I try not to get upset. She started like at 5 or 6, she started like hurting herself, scratching herself, bloody, didn't know how to control her emotions. I had to make a choice. My choice was my kids. I had to leave my job, and we struggled. We struggled big time. I was on food stamps. I was getting everything that I could from the government, you know, with assistance. I had started dating Mark. He was helping pay my bills. My parents were helping me pay my bills because they knew how important it was that I took care of my daughters. And it was just such a huge shift in their life, like all of a sudden. But I knew that I needed to do something. And, you know, I had always been to, you know, 30, you know, parties for like 31 or, you know, all these jewelry parties. And, you know, they always talk about, you know, joining the business, and it just, nothing spoke to me, right? It was like, oh, you can make money from home. I wasn't real big into doing parties. Like, that's not me. No. So when I left, maybe about 2 months after I left my job at this really amazing spa, a girlfriend of mine who I'd known for like 15 years, who lives in Arizona, she messaged me and she's like, what are you up to? And I'm just like, oh my gosh, you know, great to talk to you. What are you doing? And she's like, well, I just started with this company. It's in network marketing. It's health and wellness. And I'm making some really great money from home, and I'm home with my girls. She had 2 little girls as well. And I'm like, huh, I need to hear more. So this was my previous company, and I jumped right in. I jumped right in without even trying the product. And because I knew it's just something about health and wellness, because there wasn't like, you're not limited on who your customer is. You're not limited on who the people are that want to join you, because jewelry, basically women, 31, anything. It seemed like everything out there was just geared towards women, right? Where health and wellness, 18 to 100, men, women, it's for everybody. So I jumped in. Didn't really have a lot of success right off the bat. I was with them for about 2 years, and it was a lot of it was very hard. We had charts, we had chart, we had boxes to fill. It was difficult, and I was working very, very hard, and I felt like I wasn't going anywhere. So I remember taking Mark to a conference, and I'm like, you have to go, oh my gosh. And he didn't know, like, just a couple months before, I had started thinking about leaving, because we were in the red every month between auto ships on both of our accounts, because you had to run an auto ship to get paid. Website fees, everything. We were in the red every month. And I felt like I was a hindrance on my family, because this was supposed to be a vehicle for us to get out of debt, for me to be able to stay home and feel good about being home, to take care of my girls. And I was shelling more money out every month than I was getting in. So about that December, I was about a year and a half in, I started feeling that doubt. Like I needed to maybe go back to work, do something different. This company wasn't a right fit. But I'm like, and then you hear, oh, you just get to conference. And so I'm like, okay, well, we need to get to conference. Mark, you're coming with me. He had never been before. We went to Florida. Usually at the end, there's this like, excitement, and what you get you motivated, and you go home and you're pumped, ready to go and work hard, right? At the end of this conference in 2017, I turned to him. I remember distinctly, I turned to him and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I brought you here. It was awful. We didn't have the money, the plane ticket, the hotel. We didn't have the money, because I thought that maybe, Mark saw the vision. He's always had so much, faith and trust in me. And, so he was pumped, ready to go. He's like, this is going to get us going. I know this is going to be a good thing. And then when I turned to him and I said, I'm so sorry, because I felt like I let him down. I let our family down, because there wasn't this big thing at the end where you were pumped, ready to go to work. It was, why am I still here? Why? This is a huge mistake. So this was February of 2017, and he still didn't really know how I felt about leaving. And about a year and a half, a little over a year before, I had met a woman by Jamie. Her name is Jamie Becca, by chance at an event in Syracuse, New York, and we became Facebook friends. And I was still friends with her on Facebook, and I knew that she had left our company. And usually we're always told, block, block, block anybody who leaves, right? And for some reason, I didn't block her. And I just kept watching her. And I saw how happy she was. I saw the success she was having. Just talking about how different it was. And so that March, the end of March of 2017, I reached out to her and I'm like, okay, I see you're doing amazing. You're so happy. I need to hear your spiel. I need to know what all this is about. I'm not leaving, because it's still in my head. I'm like, I didn't want to be here, but I didn't want anybody to know that I was leaving. And actually, the month I left, that March, I was like top 50 of enrollments. So even though I wasn't there, I still never stopped working. So she gave me her spiel. She told me all about the company, the product line, the CEOs. And my first words to her were, if all of this is true, how does the company make money? And she said, I don't know, but they do. So I'm like, okay, well, we need to, talk about it. So 2 days, Mark and I took 2 days to talk about it, think about it, pray on it. And I went back to her on March 27th. I said, okay, let's do it. And I jumped in as a promoter before even trying the products. So I think I kind of answered a few of your questions, Lisa.
No, that's good. So when you came in, kind of, let's talk just about your ride to, let's just talk about the ride.
Okay. Yeah. So I came in, like I said, without even trying the products first. And because I knew if they worked like half as well as she, said that they did, I knew that, this was going to be the company for us. And it really was a no-brainer because we had nothing to lose. That was our whole thing. We had nothing left to lose. We were in the red every month. And this was basically our last chance to get something going before I had to go to work outside of the house. So we came in March 27th of 2017. And, just because, I was with a different company, I thought, oh my gosh, my whole entire team's going to come with me. We're going to be so successful. And no, nobody came with me. People from other teams, a few jumped over with me. And in my first 2 weeks, my VIP period, I hit VIP 800 on the last day because I signed Mark up as a promoter. So I barely made VIP 800 by the skin of my teeth. And, I never gave up. People, when they don't, and I'll never understand why people give up if they don't reach their VIPs. If I had given up, I wouldn't be where I am today. We wouldn't have the team that we have today. And it's just, it just baffles me sometimes. You have to just keep going because let me tell you, 8 days later, I signed someone who changed my entire business. One person. There was this girl in town who was doing very well with our previous company. I'd only met her once before on a plane coming home from a conference. And I kind of had like a sneaky way of kind of putting this idea into her head. I had, it was all about gear with this previous company. So I reached out to her. I said, I have all this gear. Did you want to come take a look, see what I had? I'm getting rid of it real cheap. So she came over to my house, and of course I had all my Thrive products out. And she's like, well, what is this? And I started telling her about it, and I sold her a 3-day on the spot. And then she came back and bought another 3-day. And that's when I got her into a 3-way chat with Jamie Pekka. And we signed her. And on the 8th day, so 8 days after my VIP period, I signed her. And that same day she signed up, I hit 4K because she came in with a hell of a team. Okay. So don't ever give up. So when people ask, I'm like, there's always one person. There's one person out there that will change your entire business. Don't ever give up. So on day 22, I hit 4K, and then 6 days later, we hit 12K. So 28 days in, I hit 12K in my auto bonus. And it was such a whirlwind because I didn't really understand what that was because we were in so fast, right? And we were actually on our way, to our first conference with Laval. And because Jamie, 3 weeks in, Jamie's like, you're going to conference. So I'm like, okay. So we didn't have any money. We drove down from New York to Texas. And I remember getting there and people congratulating me that I hit 12K. And I'm like, I knew I did. I just didn't understand how powerful that rank is. And so that conference really was life changing. And then I remember going on my first lifestyle getaway. It was to Toronto, and I'm like, seriously, Toronto's 2.5 hours from here. I'm like, that's not a lifestyle getaway, but we went anyway. And I remember this was like the end of June of 2017, and I went up to Jamie Pecca's house, and like the Friars were there, and we all took a train to Toronto. And then on the way home, I asked Sarah Fryer, I said, I need, I'm so close to 40K, I need help. So her and I sat down, went through my entire team, and basically doing charting and figuring out where everybody was, where they needed to be. So again, helping people get to where you hear this all the time. In order to get where you need to be, your focus needs to be on getting everyone on your team to where they need to be, helping others get you to where you want to be. And I really didn't understand that until that point. So we worked so hard on that train ride, figuring out where everybody needed to be. And I reached out and I helped everybody. And 90 days in, we hit 40K. And that was just amazing. I remember going and my dream board for years had been in Cadillac Escalade. And I went, test drove one. I went and looked at it. I had the pamphlet that I always looked at my house. And it just never seemed like it was something that was within reach, right? And when I found out after I hit 12K that was on our auto bonus program, I'm like, oh. But let me tell you, my credit was, in the garbage. So my auto bonus that I got every month, it not only paid for my car that I had, but I put it towards other debt that I had. And I remember going on a leadership retreat that November, and we had a call with Paul Brevet. And I remember him saying, because I was really nervous about getting a luxury vehicle. I'm like, oh, that's a lot of money. That's more money than, my house. And I remember Paul saying, we do this. And the good thing about getting a luxury vehicle with $800 auto bonus is that it pushes you to work harder to maintain that rank. And after that, I knew, I'm like, oh, I knew that I could do it. So we had been 40K for about 7 months when I decided to go get my Escalade. And let me tell you, I work my butt off every month to make sure I'm at least at 12K. So I get that auto bonus every month. And it's true. I don't think if I had this vehicle that I have, I work so hard for, I don't know if it would, because it wouldn't be me if I didn't work hard. But I think that I work so much harder just because I want to make sure that I don't put my family in a bind, in a position where we have to pay this vehicle out of pocket every month, So, we're going into 2018 now, and we are still 40K. But we're doing 100 grand a month. Because I have a red leg. This rock star I brought in, red-legged me. And I remember May of 2018, I'm actually driving up to Jamie Pecca's house, and on my way up there, she hits 80K. I'm still 40K. And I tried so hard to be so excited and proud of her. And I really, really was. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Having a red leg is such a blessing, but it messes with your head. Let me tell you, it really does, but it's a blessing. You cannot let it get to you to the point where it distracts you, it derails you, because it's only going to, you're only going to suffer in the end. So it took me a little while to realize that. So many people, Lisa and Jamie and Chaz, are always like, it's a blessing, take it. 60% of your volume is taken care of. And I got that, but I couldn't get out of my own head. So we were doing well over 100 grand every month. And I'm still 40K. So, just October comes around, and this is, our slow time, right? October comes around, and I have another new team that has just come on, who have a fire lit under them. And we're cruising, and all of a sudden, October 30th of 2018, we hit 80K, and we actually ended up that month well over 130,000. But finally 80K, we're an 80K team, and we've been sitting there ever since. I do still have that red leg. And that's okay. I'm very thankful for it. But, it's like I just need to get rid of that red leg. But, and I'm okay that we're still 80K. It's, you always hear it will come when you're ready. There's so much learning I need to do. You say I show up to everything I do. Just because I'm an 80K, just because I've been in 4.5 years, doesn't mean I still don't have things to learn. So I show up every day. I take what people are, the tips and tricks and what they're leading with. And I try to lead my people, my team, the same way, and, live my life the same way. And I'm always learning. And, once God realizes I'm ready, I'll be that 200K. I know we'll be a 200K team, but we're still at 80K, and I'm good. I'm good with that for now.
Well, I mean, you're ready. It's just finding the right person at this point. And I mean, there's a lot of people on this Zoom in that same situation that need to know that, they're not alone. They are not alone. And, you feel like, we've had several conversations where you're like, what more can I do? And sometimes it's just a matter of, now fine tuning, really picking apart what you're doing every day and putting your efforts in the right places. But so I kind of want to get into some hard stuff. Because and this is so horrible that it's my favorite part of the Zoom, but honestly, it makes me feel better about my business, because there's so many people on here that we think we're the only ones that are going through certain things in our business. And you guys are not alone. I mean, listen to Dani's story. 4.5 years. She has a red leg, which I can point out probably 6 people right now just scrolling through really quick that have a red leg. You had somebody pass you in your business at first, which does make anybody feel like, okay, what am I doing wrong? When sometimes we're not doing anything wrong at all. It's just, how it's just what's playing out right now. But you've also had, one of the things that I kind of wanted to touch on was, conflict on a team, because here's the deal. This isn't hard. This is not easy to talk about, but I have several teams right now going through similar things where, you maybe have a leg or leaders that don't want to plug in, or that you feel like you're always putting out fires, or you can't even concentrate on your own business because somebody's drama. And, and we're too afraid to let go sometimes of legs or to cut out the drama, because we're so scared that our business will fail if we do that, because people are bringing in money, and there's so many aspects to it. So I kind of just wanted to touch on some of those things that stick out to you that you have been through over the last 4.5 years that you've had to kind of figure out, and what you've done.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. So Yeah, I had someone pass me that went 80K before me. And you know, it was hard. You know, we were doing our weekly team Zooms, and she would come on and be like, well, you should be asking me because I'm the only 80K in our team. You know, every week. You should be asking me because I'm the only 80K. We don't have another 80K in our team. And it was hard. And I had to, for the longest time, kind of just because I didn't want to stir the pot with her. I didn't want to lose her because I was afraid of what else I would lose. And there was a lot of drama with that entire leg. And you have to make sure that you're not going. So my whole thing was I try to teach everybody is, you know, you want to vent up. So I'm sure Lisa and Jamie and Chaz have, you know, for the long time were, you know, sick of seeing my name pop up in their messenger. But, you know, this was something for the longest time. I just wanted people to like me. Like that was my thing. Like I was afraid people wouldn't like me. I've grown a lot since then, probably in the last year and a half, to where that doesn't bother me as much, because I've seen what happens when you don't put that as your priority. So I had to take a step back when there was all this drama going on, when it was hurting the team. It was hurting the team as a whole, not only her leg, but it was going into my other legs, and it killed my other legs. So I kind of had to distance myself a little bit. I had to kind of pull the people that were working hard, that didn't want to be part of the drama, separately into a different chat. She had her own chat that I was still a part of, but I had a different chat just focused on work. And you know, lots of fires putting out. And it got to the point to where I distanced myself altogether from this woman. And it came to the point where I realized I wasn't the only one. I wasn't the only one that had issues, that wanted to take a step back. That so actually what has happened in the last year and a half is that every single person on that leg has come over to me, not to me, to our team as a whole, distance themselves from the drama, you know, the toxic atmosphere that we had for so long. And we're, you know, we're better. It's positive, you know, we're all about positivity, uplifting, encouraging. And you know, there's no drama. They know if there's something negative, you take it out. You come to me, you come to another leader on our team. Our team chat is just for, like I said, encouragement, uplifting, you know, concerns, you know, with helping with customers or business, whatever. So I feel like it ends up weeding itself out in the end. If you are just consistent, you stay true to yourself, you stay consistent with your team, you show your team support and love, and you know, just show that you're there. You're there. You don't change yourself, don't bring yourself down to the level of the people that are causing issues and drama. And you know, like I said, it will work itself out in the end, and it has. And I'm very thankful because whew, it got tough for a long time.
Yeah, and I remember having like just conversations about, look, I've done this so many years, and I'm telling you, if you just, and it's hard because it's hard not to, as a leader, be on the phone all day with people complaining or that have issues or that, you know, real life issues. because this was stemming, stuff was stemming way beyond business. It was real life issues, like people just, you know, characters and just lots of things. But at the end of the day, I remember just telling you, you can't feed into the drama. You have to just, the people will come to you. And you were so scared. I remember you being like, but what do I can't just like cut somebody out. And I'm like, look, I said the people that want to grow their business will find you. And they always do. And it's an amazing thing because that weighs heavy on a person. You don't want to get up every day and work your own business when all you're looking forward to is drama. You can't even work your own business. Like you were in a place at one point where you weren't even doing anything for your own business because it felt like you were constantly putting out fires. And the answer, you guys, is just stop. You don't have to do it, and that's the thing that everybody has to realize is you don't have to, you know, you don't have to sit there and be a part of the drama or listen to people's complaints. You can literally say, look, this is what we're doing. Those of y'all that want to move forward with me and kill it, come over here. If not, that's cool. I'm going to love you where you are. And I mean, it's just amazing to watch what's happened. I mean, I haven't had you in my inbox in, gosh, at least a year about anything like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's amazing that you kind of navigated and figure it out because I don't care who you are on here, the bigger your team grows, you are going to have stuff. We're all humans and not everybody's going to get along or lead the same way but one thing I can say is watching that whole thing play out, history repeats itself. And I've seen so many times where, there's drama on a team and it can either make a team or break a team. And you didn't let that happen. It's so easy to fall into things, but sometimes we're so scared to cut out the cancer. But I have seen this over and over again. Once you let that drama out and cut out the cancer, the people that want to grow thrive afterwards. Sometimes the best people are being held back because of drama. So such a good lesson. I mean, some of this stuff is hard to talk about, but you guys, several of you on here go through this stuff and you're trying to figure out how to navigate through it. Well, you just do it. And you always did the right thing. You went upline. Your team never, knew it was you went upline, and that's what you do. Is there anything else that sticks out to you for you personally over the last, 4.5 years? Are there any things that stick out to you that you've seen other people do or you yourself have done that kind of have set you back or that you've had to kind of overcome to get back in it?
Yeah, well, I touched on this a little bit, having a red leg. That's killed me for so long, because I had so much self-doubt, like, what's wrong with me? What am I not doing? Why don't people want to sign with me? Why is she having so much more success on my red leg? And I think a lot of what held me back was I was like obsessing with her going 200K before me. I knew that if I had in my mind, I'm like, if she goes 200K before me, I'm done. And now I'm like, oh my God, if I had 200K under me, like, hell yeah, that would be awesome. I think that it's all mindset. I don't think, I think I was talking to Chaz one time. I noticed when my self-doubt, my negative self-talk, when I wasn't having success in the business, I kind of realized I was like trying to piece everything together, and I wasn't doing my 5-minute journal. I wasn't doing any personal development. I suffer from anxiety. I suffer from depression. That creeps up. Let me tell you, I still anxiety, but depression, like, since I've changed my mindset and everything kind of has changed, that has not, seen light in over a year. I think also with, this is kind of hard, but, when you have leaders that aren't around as much as you feel like you need them, I think that put a lot, of self-doubt in me. And I felt like they were my lifeline, my life, like my leaders are my lifeline. And I realize now I'm my own lifeline. I'm my own lifeline. Yes, I have other leaders to reach out to, and I have, all of them, all you guys are amazing. But you're not what makes or breaks my business. I am. You're not what, you're not the ones that are in my chat all day long, every day, so I had to learn that. That took a little while for me to learn. I was, it was hard. I was angry for a long time, but I'm not. And I think, like I said, everything just goes back to mindset, because everything that has, not even derailed, but kind of just made me step back and have, not the right, outlook on things, all came back to, me and what I wasn't doing to help myself. So yeah, surround yourself with the right people. But I've reached out to, amazing sidelines, amazing leaders, we have amazing downlines, so just because you might not have your immediate leader that's available, or even at that time or at all, you have a leader that leaves. I know so many of my friends don't even have their sponsor anymore, and they went to 200K without them, so you can't use not having a leader, a sponsor, as your crutch. And you just have to, like I said, mindset. So I try to, I know one of your next questions, I think, will be like, what do you do for mindset? And mine truly is, reading, because I can't sit and listen to like an Audible. I have like the squirrel mentality, where I'm like, if I'm not physically holding a book in my hand, I'm off doing other things. So I have to read. And so I like to read. I don't read as much as I like to. I should, but like, every week we try to do IMs in our team chat, and and then just really thinking about these IMs, like, and I think mindset is just huge. I have this thing that I have next to my desk, and it says, this business is 98% mindset and 2% skill. So true, so true. And it's crazy if you don't have the right personal development going, if you don't have any personal development going, if you don't have the right mindset, you're not going to be able to get where you really want to be.
And that's something, I mean, that you constantly have to work on. I don't care who is on here, how good you are at this business, how many things you plug into. Mindset is something you constantly have to be working on. I mean, we all get our minds in a bad place, all of us, every single person on here. And I mean, I know I get in those funks and I'm like, oh, I got to get out of this. That's life. That's like everything. And people, I think sometimes we think we're on an island by ourselves, like we're the only one going through this stuff, and it's just not the case. Everybody feels stuck sometimes, or they feel alone sometimes, and we want to look for excuses on maybe why we're not in the place we need to be. It's our upline, it's our downline, it's our sidelines, it's distraction, and really at the end of the day, I mean, I've just seen you come such a long way when it comes to, realizing certain things about your business and certain things about yourself. And it's because you are open to suggestion. I mean, that's the one thing I can say. I talk to some leaders and I'll throw things out there and they're like, nope, sorry, done that, been there, done that. No, I mean, everything is just rejected. And you are always open to suggestion. And I think that's one of the reasons why, I mean, this is a journey. This isn't something that is going to happen overnight. And as frustrating as that can be, and, we can get in funks about it. I mean, I was last week sitting here going, man, this has been probably the worst summer I've ever seen in network marketing. Just so many people have checked out. And I think so many people last year were stuck inside because of COVID. And now this year, things opening back up more. I think people have been on more vacations and taking time with their family. And it's like, okay, everybody, time to get back to work. But you get in your own funks, like, what is going on? But at the end of the day, we both know, because we came from the same last company, the huge benefits that we have over here. And you talked a little bit about this, going to that conference and being like, oh my God, Mark, I'm so sorry. And then coming to the Lavelle conference and experiencing a conference that makes you feel like, oh my God, I'm in the right place. But what are some of the other things that stick out to you? Like, you were with that other company for a while, and I know what you gave that other company, but you weren't really getting anywhere. What are like some of the biggest things that you think Lavelle has, and what makes us different? Like, why do you think we're all so lucky to be here?
Yeah, real quick, I wanted so I was in a little bit of a funk beginning of this year. And I wasn't going to go to conference. I wasn't. And I'm like, I wasn't there. And Lisa messaged me. She's like, wait a minute, you're not, I don't know how you found out, but she messaged me. She's like, you're not going to conference? I'm like, no. It's like, you're going. So I ended up going by myself. Mark has always gone with me. I ended up going by myself. And it was hard. It was very hard to go by myself. But I had a little bit of a panic attack while I was there. But let me tell you, I came back different, completely different. If you haven't not been to a conference, you have to go. Ours especially are completely life-changing, not only for like yourself personally, for your business, for your team. Go. Things that are different, man, everything. We have it so good here, so good. Our CEOs, they just are amazing. They know, we have amazing product. Our product line is insane. And our opportunity, we have, it's, 2 customers and 2 promoters, 2 customers, 2 promoters. You just do that, over and over again, and you're going to get to where you want to be. Like I said in the beginning, if you are helping others get to where they want to be, you're going to get to where you want to be a lot faster. We don't have any charting here, which is nice because you're not helping. Oh my gosh, the amount of people that I helped get to certain ranks with our previous company that no longer ran the business they just collected the paycheck because I needed them at a certain rank in order for me to be at a rank. I was basically not only running my business, Mark's business, but Sally's business, Susie's business, Tommy's business, just in order to, I was giving away money because we had to give away customers because they needed to be at $400 every month. It was just insane. It was so hard to juggle everything. And it's just simple here, simple. And I see people still to this day with that company. I'm like, why are you there? Only if you knew. So it's everything.
So different.
It's so
Different.
different.
It's like, people don't get how lucky we are here.
Mhm.
And I have friends in other companies, and I know you do too. And I just listen and watch them, and I think, man, you have it so hard. Come to the go from the dark side, come to the light side. We just are so lucky and so blessed over here. So we only have like 8 minutes left. I just want to know, I mean, there's so many things. We could be on here for like 3 hours, but
I know.
what are some of the most important things that you think people need to do every day for their business? Because you are right. I mean, I say this every Zoom. I think every Zoom I've ever been on, this comes up. It is mindset and then action. So what's the action that you think people need to do every day and no matter what?
Well, I think, you need to find some sort of personal development to do during the day. Whether that's reading a book, Audible, YouTube, there's so many amazing videos on YouTube that, just get you fired up and pumped up that are free. So, lack of funds should never be your excuse. Every day, you, like I said, helping others is, like, I think that's why, you know, I know I love helping others. So we help customers every day. We help our promoters. But getting in and, I touch base with my team every day, but I think, I don't know. I just, it all stems back, I think you need to have a routine, I think we all get so caught up also in the scroll, right? Like, I'll talk to Mark and he'd be like, I'm working. And I'm like, what do you mean you're working? I see you scrolling Facebook. And he's like, well, I just wanted to see what everybody else was doing. I said, no, so, I think we all get caught up in that, so where I use my, actually, I used to have like an actual, I still do have my hard copy planner. But let me tell you, like, I have my calendar, like, this is just September. Like, so if it's not in my calendar, it's hard for me to remember to do it. So I have everything, you know, blocked out. So in the morning, I have time blocked out to do my personal development. I have time blocked out to, you know, for follow-ups, and it's 10 minutes here and there. Because I feel like some people are like, I can't be successful in this business because I'm not working it full time. You don't need to work this full time. You don't. I'm just blessed to be able to have that opportunity. But if you are very, specific with your time and how you use it, and don't get stuck in the scroll, don't get stuck in the drama, don't get stuck in the chats. Just I check in with my chat and I'm out. I check in with my chat and I'm out. You know, you have to be very intentional with your time, or you will feel like it's a full-time job and that, you're not getting anywhere and you're spending all this time. And I feel like that might have been my issue with my previous companies. Like, I was working so hard, but what was I actually doing? I was, because it was such a new opportunity and I didn't understand. And then coming into here, I had the experience and I realized, you have to be intentional with your time. And yes, I work just as hard, but it's in increments. It's not all day long. I'm able to spend time with my family. I'm able to get things done around the house. I'm able to, do other things. Time freedom is what this is all about. So if you are getting stuck in the scroll and you're doing busy work and not actually getting things done, you will get burned out and you will feel like you're putting more time into this than you really should be.
Yeah, I mean, 1000%. I think there's so many people caught up in, you know, stuff that really isn't work. It's busy work where you feel like you're working, but you're not really actually going to do it. You're not doing anything in your day that's going to produce income now or in the future. Like, and I guess that would probably be my last question is, there's a lot of people on this Zoom today that's been in 3 years, 4 years, and I'm coming up on 5 years, October 15th. And so there's people that have been in almost 5 years on this team. And then of course we pull in people from other teams that have been in longer. And I think the biggest struggle for people is probably growing their network. I know we've had conversations about this and, sometimes you feel like, you're not running into the right people or we're not spending enough time in those areas. What would be your best, or I guess, how do you grow your network? What are a couple tips you have?
Yeah. Honestly, I'm 90% growth on social media. And what I do is, I took a page from Stephanie Gratchik, and how she grows her network. And, you have to be adding friends on, like, let's say Facebook. You have to be adding friends on Facebook every single day, every day. You need more people, new people to see your posts, see your stories, right? To see what you have to offer. I love memories. I love birthdays. Just because, especially with birthdays, I go and I check out their page before I actually send them a birthday message in Messenger. I check out their page and see how active they are. If they haven't been active in 2 years, I unfriend them. They, we use Facebook as our business, right? It's our, what do you call it? Our front of our store, our storefront, right? So if people aren't walking by your storefront, so they're not on Facebook, why are you friends with them, right? So if they haven't posted in a while, if they're posting really negative, if they're very negative, if they are, whatever it may be, I unfriend them. That is another space for someone else to come in that could be my next rock star, that could be my next multiple year auto ship customer, which I have a few. So if you aren't constantly unfriending and friending people, like, that's huge, huge, huge for your business. And I have over 4,000 friends, but are they worth the time and space in my friends list? And that's something I use with memories, and, like I said, birthdays. I do make sure that my DFT is always showing. I know it can be hard, especially up north, where we have like 3 months of summer, 2 months, and we're in like long sleeves and things like that all the time. But trying as much as you can to show it. It is a conversation starter. I've had so many people come up to me, ask me if it's a nicotine patch, if it's a birth control patch. It's a conversation starter. So growing your network that way by friending people out and about, belly to belly. And then trying to think, that's really much, I try really hard to get on Instagram. I'm on Instagram regularly. I haven't found the success that I have on Facebook. But, and I noticed stories. Oh my gosh, stories are huge because you can see who's looking at your stories. I love that. I encourage stories all day long, post all day long in stories, because every time you post a new story, if it's someone that is like actively looking at your stories, it's going to bump you back up to the front every time you post a new story. And if you can see, like I said, who's looking at your stories, and you can use them as your potential list, as your follow-up list, as your list to go and interact with them on their page. So that's huge because you can't see that on just a Facebook post. So that's how I grow my network. And then Stephanie Gretchick. Sorry. Going and I'm not huge into groups. I have tried so hard, introduce myself to new groups and starting conversations, and it's very difficult for me. So what I like to do as well is like if you go to the search bar and you type in Sally Jones, and then you can pulls up a bunch of Sally Jones. But I even like to go and you can like filter down to like Sacramento, California, or Houston, Texas, and you can like friend people. And I always go to their page to make sure that they have something to contribute, that they're actually posting on their Facebook page, that they're positive, that they're look like someone that would, one, use our product, two, would be a good person to join our team. So That's how I do that. And I love doing that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I cannot believe it's already been an hour. That was the
I
fastest.
know.
That was literally the fastest hour ever. Dani, I want to thank you so much for hopping on today and sharing your story. And now where everybody knows the woman behind the recorder. And I want to thank you for each and every week hopping on and recording Zooms. I mean, literally don't know what I would do without you. And just as a friend, I mean, literally, this business is an amazing thing. Obviously, we meet so many people, but to have a true friendship come out of it, I am so grateful. So I love you. I love Mark. Thank you so much. And to all of you guys that hopped on today, thank you. And I want to say, do you guys know who Twin is? Okay. If you're new, that's the only reason you wouldn't know who Twin is. Okay. Like you'd have to live under a freaking rock if you don't know who Twin is. So I would venture to say Twin is probably the fastest, longest growing, hardest working. I got to tell you, Twins team is probably number one in this company and has held that forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Literally, like, I don't think there's a team in this company that beats her. So I've dedicated like the next 4 weeks. It's twin time. Y'all, we've got to pick the brains of the 80Ks and the 200Ks under, y'all know Angela Baby, y'all know I Am Jackie, y'all know Twin and Lena Trong, and y'all, we are going to take her team over the next 4 or 5 weeks, and we're going to interview different people over the next few Tuesdays, because y'all, we got to pick the brains of the people making it happen. And I have got to tell you, you are going to want to tune in, because these ladies, I mean, I can't even describe to you. I've been in network marketing now for 12 years, and I've never seen a team ever in 12 years never slow down. Ever, 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 ever. They are always on fire, always on point. I mean, these ladies, I'm talking every month, crazy PPAs. We're about to pick their brains. So you guys are not going to want to miss the next 4 weeks, no doubt, because I have someone, and maybe even longer. I don't know. There's quite a few people I haven't been able to interview yet. So I'm going to get in their brains. In fact, if you're on Twins team right now, an 80 or 200K, please message me. I need to get you on the schedule. But I'm excited. So we have that coming up. And it's Tuesday, y'all. So we just got paid about 3 minutes ago. So make sure that you're making your payday post today and being so, so grateful for your check, whatever it is. Guess what? Your check is more than when you started, right? You're making money more than when you started. And if you look at a check, this is my best advice to you. And Chas always tells me this. And if I ever have a bad week and I'm like, what the hell was that check? She's like, stop looking at that check and add up what you made this year. Stop looking at one check and add up what you made this year. Was it life changing? Was it a game changer? Is it way more than when you started? I mean, you guys don't look at just one check. Look at what you've done collectively and get your head in that right space, because we have the next 3 months where we have to plant as many seeds as possible, and we have to stay as consistent as possible to get prepared and ready for our biggest months in Lavelle history coming in 2022, January through May. You got to be ready. So those of you guys that are preparing now and get ready now, you are going to have the best year of your lives. Those of you guys that don't, won't. So I want to be in the group that has the best year. I don't know about you guys. Dani, thank you so much. I love you. I appreciate you. And thanks to everybody else. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys next Tuesday, same time, same place, same link. Bye, guys. Thanks, Dani.